All right, everybody. Today we're going to be reviewing One Cut of the Dead, and in honor of this movie, we're going to film this whole podcast in one take without any cuts.
Brave.
Get ready.
Never done that before.
She sells seashells by the seashore without a permit.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew.
Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
You're muted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I'm Bryce Hanson, your host with the most, and with me are my co-hosts with the slightly less, Sydney Lee and Max Allen.
I'ma blow your head smooth clean off.
Okay, every week we review a single horror movie. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Make sure you rate, review, and do all the social things and all the places. Also check out patreon.com/horror movie talk. And you can get all of our bonus content. If you want to leave your stench on our community.
Stench.
Cool. Gosh, this is what happens when I improv. You're right, Max. I shouldn't. It's not worth it.
We just never improv ever.
Anyways, go to horrormovietalk.com to get all the links to the things, and you can leave us a voicemail at 682-253-4468. And you could hear your voice on a future episode of Horror Movie Talk.
I'll tell you what, Bryce. One more mess up like that, and I'm taking you downtown.
Are those fashion sunglasses?
The picture on the costume at the store had the glasses, but when I opened it up, it didn't have the glasses, so I had to use my own glasses.
You don't see a lot of cops with red-rimmed glasses. You know, they usually try to keep it to the mirrored lenses or, generic aviators. It's a bold choice. I like it.
One more screw up like that, and I'm taking you downtown.
I'm giving you a compliment.
Max is the fashion police, obviously, Bryce.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna blow your head smooth clean off.
With a t-shirt gun.
Okay. Well, we got a great show today. We'll be reviewing One Cut of the Dead. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 through 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. And afterwards, we'll listen to our voicemail again in a bit we like to call Horror Movie Whores. That's you. All right. One Cut of the Dead can be found on AMC Plus right now, or Hoopla.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it on AMC Plus.
Okay.
I'm still I don't have Hoopla. I'm not
I
going to
rented it
download
on
Hoopla,
YouTube for $4.
which
Don't
we
you
don't
have a
know why
library
Max
card,
did
Sydney?
that. Yeah, but I don't know
They
why
don't-
Max rented it.
Because I went on Hoopla, where Bryce is always telling me to go, and it says select your library. I type in the name of my library and it doesn't pull up. So my library, I guess, doesn't offer that feature. And also, you guys were watching it on AMC, and only one person could watch at a time. And we only had 2 days.
Yeah.
So I watched it.
I would have let you
on
watch
YouTube.
it. I finished it last night anyways. Okay. Synopsis of One Cut of the Dead is, while filming a low-budget zombie movie, the crew is attacked by a real life zombie. Instead of running away, the director takes advantage of the windfall and keeps putting his cast in harm's way to get his shots. And then the rest of the movie happens. In terms of review, I'm struggling with how much I should spoil in an 8-year-old movie. But I'll just say that this is a bait and switch done masterfully well. I've seen movies that start out as a comedy and end up being a horror comedy, or movies that start out as a horror movie and end up as a horror comedy. But this is the first that I've seen that starts out as 100% a zombie movie and then transitions into a 100% comedy. I was pleasantly surprised because the horror movie was pretty bad. And when it transitioned to a comedy movie, it was so much more interesting and competently shot. It actually made me respect the filmmakers all the more that they could be convincing as both good and terrible at the same time. This is less of a horror movie and more of a celebration of B filmmaking. As a result, it ends up being an ode to all of the reasons why people love low-budget zombie movies. The quick and dirty storytelling, the fun action, the over-the-top special effects, and the ingenuity displayed in the filmmaking. Mostly, I'm just glad that I didn't have to watch the opening horror movie for an entire hour and 40 minutes. That was a relief. I really liked it. I give it a score of 9 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you because it has the first part of the movie, which is, like you said, a horror movie, and it's pretty boring and bad. And it gets to a point where there's like a fake out with ending credits, like 30 minutes into the movie. And part of me was thinking, oh, thank goodness. It lied to me about the runtime. It's a 36-minute movie. But then, yeah, it switches gears and it does something totally different. And I think pretty unique as far as I've seen. You get kind of this story about what it's like to actually make movies with actors who are, screwing you over every chance they get and no time and no money. It's cool. And it's a lot of fun. I laughed many times throughout the movie. And I also enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree with both you guys. I really liked this. I think it's like technically one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. I think if you love filmmaking and you love horror movies and the process of making horror movies and movies in general, this is a really fun movie to watch. It's definitely for fans of film, fans of the makings of horror films and stuff like that. I didn't think the zombie part was that boring. I thought it was like kind of good. And I knew that they were going to do something because there was a couple of fourth wall breaks that were a little like, I was like, oh, something weird is going on here. Like, this isn't just a zombie movie. Like, something more is going to happen. And it lost me in the middle, I think. But once we got to the third act, I was back on board and I was like, this was great. So I'm also going to give it an 8.
The layers of camera work going on in this movie is really impressive.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, literally, it's 3 layers deep of people recording people. It's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, and then it shows the behind the scenes of the movie as a whole. So you've got cameras shooting cameras, shooting people, So, yeah, it was really fun. And it's one of those things where, I mean, I think the crossover appeal is very strong because I think one of the reasons people like zombie movies in particular and budget horror movies is they usually skew towards filmmakers, because filmmakers that want to make their own films appreciate lower budget movies and they try to glean techniques and stuff from it. And so I don't know. I think it just shows a lot of appreciation for filmmaking overall.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Sorry, I was just going to say one reason I think maybe Sydney liked the opening part, but I didn't, is because I'm not really a zombie guy. Like, that's one of my less favorite horror movie types. And so, and it's not trying to do anything out of the ordinary in the first little bit. It's trying to be a very standard zombie movie. And yeah, it just wasn't grabbing me. And so thank goodness that's not what this movie is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am a huge zombie movie fan. Like when I turned this on and I realized it was going to be a zombie movie, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." Like I was so happy. But I was pleasantly surprised with what the rest of the movie became. And it's also really hard. I feel like we have already spoiled like kind of what happens. It's really hard to review this without saying what happens in it. But I hope we've been vague enough to people who haven't seen it that like, I really highly recommend you go to see this before we like really lay into this, because it's going to spoil the entire premise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't, the spoiler would be 1/3 into the movie. It's not like, I mean, there's plenty of movie left. And anyways, I think the zombie movie, like what was so bad about it. See, I heard that this was a really good movie. This is on like a lot of top, 100, top 200 horror movie lists. And so I was doing the thing where you watch a, like a Criterion Collection movie that you don't like, and you're like, no, but it's kind of good. I see why people like that. That's interesting. So I'm like watching this zombie movie that is pretty objectively bad compared to most other zombie movies. It's not like interesting with the character. There's like zero characters. There's not really an interesting explanation for the zombies. It's literally just a zombie appears. There you go. And then like the only interesting thing is the meta layer of they're shooting a zombie movie and get attacked by zombies, which is like, is that what people like? Is that it? And so the explanation, the rest of the movie is the part that people likes, which puts that zombie movie in such an interesting context where you appreciate it so much more. So if that first part was the whole movie, it would have been a pretty rough slog. 'Cause I've seen about, 1 million zombie movies like it, and, dozens of zombie movies are better than it. So, but that's kind of the point in the movie. So let's stop talking about movies. Let's talk about commerce.
Yes.
Woo, commerce.
Woo! We should have a capitalism drop.
Yeah.
Woo, go capitalism.
And you're just going to listen to a bunch of ads that we put right in this section, and there's nothing you can do about it other than, hit the skip button, which you should probably do. If you don't like ads, go to our Patreon and sign up for one of our tiers that gives you advance access to episodes without ads in them. And we're going to be shaking up the Patreon. We're going to have some pretty good deals coming up, so keep your eyes wide open and peeled.
Peel those eyes like grapes.
Peel those eyes, just like in Hellraiser, or some other movie that peels eyes. I'm not actually completely sure.
Oh, I saw someone dressed as Pinhead last night. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of Hellraiser, sorry.
Thanks, Sydney.
What did I say? Oh, yeah, Patreon. Also go to our shop, horrormovietalk.com/shop. Check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's got a special project out right now called Foreign. That's at FOREI.
FORAEI.
AEIN.
Yes.
And that's on Instagram, and he's got a Patreon. It's a great graphic novel of, what did we say it was? Medieval, like kind of
medieval
sci-fi. It's good. I read the first chapter, and he's probably close to finishing the second chapter, so check him out. If you want to leave us a voicemail, call 682-253-4468. Thanks again for listening to all the commercials. I'll try to stuff them all in to this part so you don't have to listen to any more. as we get into spoilers. Okay, so I think we spoiled it, like the main spoiler, which is like
definitely did.
the horror movie only goes for about 30 minutes, and then the credits roll, and then it flashes back to
1 month before.
Yeah, 1 month before. The director, the in-movie director from the zombie movie is shown directing some like crappy TV show. And we eventually learn that he gets offered to make the movie that we just saw, which the concept is it's going to be the opening of a new zombie themed channel on TV, and they want to do it in one take live. And this director is kind of known for just being quick and dirty and good enough. Like I love his. In terms of marketing, it's a great tagline, which he just says, like, we're cheap and fast and average quality, which is, I mean, that's a good deal. That's what you really want. It's cheap, fast, and average quality. And that's really the motto of this podcast, I might say.
Right.
We're cheap, we're fast, we get it out, and it's not embarrassing. Usually.
And it's all right.
Not usually embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not usually embarrassing. It's average quality. We're no Joe Rogan. You know, we're not spending tens and thousands of dollars on production and editing.
Why are you going to compare us to Joe Rogan? You could have picked
the
anyone
number
else.
one podcast. Why would I?
Can you guys believe that we are reviewing 2 style bait and switch movies in a row? Because we just did Shelby Oaks that has
the.
I thought you were talking about the other one we watched this week, and I was like, I'm confused.
No, Shelby Oaks is a documentary for 30 minutes and then like a actual movie, the rest of it, and that's really similar to how this was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, and this one was much better at doing that.
It's a lot better.
it didn't feel cheap. And another thing that I'm really grateful they didn't do the whole movie is the one shot is a really cool trick.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that people do it. But the problem with it is it takes me out of the movie every time, no matter how good the movie is, because the whole time I'm thinking, man, it's really impressive that they're still going with this one shot and no one's made any mistakes. That's all I can think about. And I'm thinking about it the whole time. And so it was nice to have that cut short and just be able to watch a movie.
See, I like that was my thing with the first part. Once I realized it was one take, I was like, oh, like they haven't cut this whole time. Like this is great. But there's a moment like, and I think it was the first fourth wall break where the director in the zombie movie, and I guess the director we find out later, the real director as well, he like points at the camera, like what he points at us and he says, keep rolling, like keep filming. And I was like, wait, I thought that we didn't know that there was someone behind the camera. Like we're not supposed to know that someone's filming this, you know?
Right.
Like, and I think that took me out of it. And then I was glad that like I didn't know what the rest of the movie was going to be. So I was glad that the zombie movie stopped, because like that was a continuity error that didn't make any sense, because like the girl would be alone, like, you know, looking at her wound or something. And then like the guy is just like zooming in on her and like walking around and not helping her kill other people and stuff. And so I was like, wait, if the director just grabbed the camera and said, keep rolling. And then this, like, I was like, something is weird here. Something is off. There's a couple of other moments like that as well. And then the credits rolled and I was like, oh, like, duh. Now we get to find out what these are. But I don't know if you guys caught those, but that like didn't make any sense to me. Like, I was like, what's happening? So
yeah, I didn't catch that one as much. But there were, I think I didn't catch them outright, but as you're watching that first 37 minutes, there's stuff that feels off. And so the processing that I took was like, this must be a Japanese thing. Like this must be like a weird pacing thing or like a cultural thing. Cause like there are these shots where they're just sitting and looking at the camera, doing nothing and not reacting. And it's like, there's a certain amount of timing to where it'd be like, well, that'd be effective for comedy. And then it goes past that. And you're like, do they just have a different timing in Japan? Like, does this mean something? Does this like reminiscent of Kabuki or something? Like, I don't know. And there's like several moments like that and that feel bizarre or out of place. And then when you get to the third act where it's them shooting the zombie movie, everything makes sense. And it makes you appreciate all those weird little moments and notice the weird little moments that you missed. Because that's like where the magic happens, is you see them recreate the movie that you watched in the beginning, and you see behind the scenes and the chaos that happens and all the disasters avoided to keep this live and, you know, within the time frame for the production.
See, it's funny that you attributed that to like, this must just be a cultural thing about how they make movies over there, because I was just thinking like, this is just a bad movie. Like,
right.
As I'm watching it and the actors are like lingering too long on certain scenes or like seemingly like fumbling the scene a little bit, I'm like, they're just not very good. But it's on purpose. And you don't realize quite yet that it's on purpose until it goes back and shows you. And it feels really rewarding. Like, it's almost like, they tricked me, and it's part of it. I like it.
That being tricked part, like, was the best feeling. Like, I was like, oh, this is great. And like, I loved all the reveals of like one of my biggest questions with the zombie movie when it was happening was like, this guy with this white headband on, like, he goes outside like willingly, right? And you're like, he saw the zombie run outside. Like, why? Like, why would he want to go out there? And then you find out it's because he had diarrhea. It's so good. Like, that was so good.
Yeah, the guy, he's the sound engineer in the movie within the movie, and he was one of those things that was off for me, because I was like, I couldn't tell what they were going for, but he was just in the background.
Yeah, he was just
in
sitting
the scenes.
there.
He was just sitting there, just like, and he looked miserable. He was just like not reacting. They weren't using him in the movie at all. He was just there, you know, while all this craziness was going on. And then, he just like turns to walk out of the building into, you know, danger. And you're like, what? And then he comes back. But yeah, like you see all that setup. And even then it's like, it's added layer, because during Act 2, when they're doing the rehearsals,
he can only have soft water. He can't
that guy
have hard
just sounds
water.
like he just sounds like a huge diva and an asshole. He's like, I emailed the production that I can only have soft water. You know, I emailed it. Like, why didn't you pay attention to it's in my writer? And then he's like asking us like, where are the toilets on site? And they're like, oh, we're going to have some porta potties delivered. And he's like, that was in my email. Like, I'm supposed to be notified of these things. And so to the first layer of when you go to the flashback is seeing all these people that were cast in the movie you just watched and who they actually are, you know, quote unquote, actually are. And that you learn like one's a famous teen idol and some are just amateur actors, and one's like, you know, kind of a full of himself, and like the DP has a junior DP that's like wanting to insert all these new ideas, and he's like, listen, honey, I'm the professional. Like, that's too corny and just not. And so all these relationships and the director and his family, it's filled out with all these relationships, and it makes it a lot more interesting in the context of when they're shooting the movie. Like, all those things come into play, and, you know, you see like every one of those things that's set up in Act 2 is delivered on, and everything that's weird in Act 1 is like recalled, and there's some kind of bit associated with it that's delivered on. It's really impressive filmmaking. It's like a really impressive like feat to have this level of meta humor. Because I just watch it and I just think how meticulous they had to be to shoot this several times, to shoot, the movie in the beginning that actually was shot in one take. It took them 2 days and like 6 takes to get all of it perfect. And then I'm not sure whether they filmed everything in the third act.
They had to
while they were doing that.
They had to have shot it the exact same time because the way it was exactly the same as the beginning.
I don't think it was, because in the behind the scenes stuff during the credits, I did notice a couple moments where there was differences. So like when the girl DP, when she takes over and she falls into the grass, like the behind the scenes shows like a guy falling in the grass for the original, first act movie. So, I mean, there's a couple things. So like they did recreate some stuff. I'm sure there's some stuff that they were able to shoot live. I mean, this whole thing took $25,000 to make.
That's so cheap.
It's so cheap. Part of that is because they used like an acting school for the actors. And so they didn't even get paid. They're paid to go to school and they get to be in this movie kind of thing. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that they didn't have to pay for, but yeah, it's a really super cheap movie. So it's impressive that they were able to coordinate these multiple layers and still keep it within that tiny, tiny budget.
One of my favorite characters is the wife of the director. Because there comes a point where they lose a couple of the actors. I don't remember exactly what it said. Like do you remember
she had the baby? She had the baby that kept crying during the readings for the script, and and I don't know if they fired her or I think they did, right? Or she couldn't show up because of the baby or something like that. It was.
Well, I know it was the director and the makeup artist lady that were cast differently in the world of the film.
I thought it said that they got in a car accident on their way to the shoot from their hotel.
I thought it was something that happened to both of them.
They make a point of being like, wait, why were they in the same car coming? And they were like, well, obviously they were having an affair.
Okay. Yeah, she was like flirting with him in one of the scenes. Yeah. Oh, is that a different lady than the lady with the baby, or is that the same lady?
No, I think it's the lady with the baby.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the director. This is so confusing of how to phrase this, but like, so the director of the fake director gets hurt, and then so the real director decides that he's going to cast himself as the fake director because he was like,
right,
we got hours before we need to shoot this. Like, I know all the material. I went to acting school for a couple weeks. We should be good. And they're like, well, what about the makeup lady? And they're like, shit. And then his daughter volunteers, his wife and her mom to
she
act
she doesn't know. She doesn't know why this is a bad idea. Like, she's like, Mom, I don't know why you stopped acting. Like, you need something to do. You need a hobby. Like, she's saying this throughout the second act. Like, Mom, you have no hobbies. You're just like watching this self-defense video. Pow, all the time.
But the mom is an actress, but she doesn't act anymore because she gets too deep into the role. And I that's just such a funny concept to me that she's like consistently almost ruining the movie because she is so deep into this and she's actually like attacking people.
Yeah.
She was really pushing like all of the actors down. Like I love the behind the scenes of that moment where they're running through the building and like everyone's trying to stop her, like the actors themselves as their not as their characters, like the actors themselves are trying to stop her in real life and she's pushing them and they're like, this isn't in the script. Like the people who are like watching the tape, like,
I like
oh
when
my
she
God.
jumps up and does like an air kick and knocks the guy down.
And the director too, like it's almost like they as a couple just decided we gotta not act in serious films anymore. It's too intense for us,
I know
because
the director was crazy too.
goes
Yeah,
like,
he's like
super
slapping people
intense.
around and
Yeah. And it's like has the layers of, I mean, that was what he was supposed to do, was basically torture this, young actress into having a better performance. It's very like I think it's kind of a parody of what Stanley Kubrick did
That's what I thought of.
to
Shelley
Shelley
Duvall.
Duvall. And
yeah, there's a part where he slaps the main actor because he's like mad at him or something. And then later behind the scenes, he's like, hey, you can't do that. Like no one's ever hit me before. And he's like, I don't care. Like we just got to keep going.
Yeah.
We have to keep going.
Well, the thing is about the wife is she gets lost in her roles. So she's like lost in this and whatever. She thinks she's the character. It's like too involved. And then with the director, he is taking this opportunity to take out his anger on these divas. Like the actress girl deliberately says to him, she's like, you're too nice to me. Like, don't be afraid to like really lay into me when we're doing this. Like you're such a pushover. Like she's always calling him a pushover. She's always pushing her boundaries. So he really does make her cry because he's like, fuck you, bitch. And then with this diva guy, who's like this heartthrob, this like teen heartthrob, like he's been trying to be like method with his shit. He's just like an annoying male actor. And so the director's like so happy to be able to slap him. Like, and that is the best part. I think the directors are great. I think he's the greatest character. He's my favorite character. I understand why the second part of the movie was important. It did draw me out of it a little bit. Like I love the bait and switch part, but then I was like, wait, is this going to be like a Silicon Valley like millennial humor comedy for the rest of the movie? And that's just like not my style of humor. So I think that's why I didn't give this a perfect score, because the second part I was just like, I don't know how funny this is. It's kind of reminding me of like a laugh track comedy kind of shit now.
The second part of the movie really is setting up the laughs for the third part, I think.
Right.
Like, you could think that a lot of the setup is funny, like you're meeting all these characters and they're all just kind of wacky in their own way. But it's really the payoff of how their personality is interacting with this one take that they have to do that makes it funny.
Yeah, I mean, it would normally be the act one of a movie, which is, you establish the stakes, you have character development, like you establish relationships, and then the thing that's going to happen happens. And that is interesting that they started out, the first act is a completed movie, which is chaos. And then the act two is, instead of being, chaos where everything goes down and they have to recover from, it's the establishing stuff. So it's an interesting experience watching it, because you're not used to like the excitement level starting up top, dipping, and then
going back
ending
up
at the top. It's usually starts at the bottom, ramps up to the end of the movie, and then just kind of,
I'm familiar with the story arc.
The graph that goes up and then goes down. Yeah.
Well, this is different than the Vonnegut story arc. This is excitement arc. This is trademark Bryce Hanson.
Oh, okay. So sorry.
Yeah.
I also think like obviously this movie is like quote unquote out of order, but if it was set up any other way, this movie would have sucked. Like if it was like act 2 was the first and then act 3 was the second, and then we saw this stupid zombie movie at the end, like we'd be like, okay, well that sucked. Like, like, you know, but the way that it's structured makes it so special. Like it's such a special movie.
Yeah.
Another character I really enjoyed was the drunk guy who there's a point where he sits down with the director and he's like, yeah, I haven't seen my daughter in forever. And I actually had an opportunity to see her last year, but I got so drunk that I didn't make it. And then he starts laughing and then he starts crying. And then it cuts to the director crying over like baby photos of his daughter. And I just think it's like, it's so real. Like, their relationship, the director and his daughter, I think is a really important part of this movie, because one of the pictures he's crying over is a picture of his daughter on his shoulders and his daughter's holding a camera. And in the end, we get this awesome payoff where the crane to lift the camera is broken. And so she has to get on his shoulders and hold the camera. And it's kind of like a perfect ending to their relationship there.
It's so cute. It's such a movie about fathers and daughters. I really loved that like cuteness aspect to it. And he really cared about his daughter's opinion of him. And she's just like a blasé teenager. And I thought it was really sweet that she really came in at the end. But I love
the moment when they're watching the show that he in the beginning of Act 2 that he's shown directing the same drunk guy in some kind of like drama series. And they're watching it on TV, like his work, like, and the daughter goes, "Can we change it?" And the mom's like, "Yeah." Oh, poor guy, just utter disrespect.
Yeah, he wants to make something that his daughter wants to watch, and so that's why he cast this heartthrob that she loves in this. Like he's really hoping that she has this interest in it, but also she's like an aspiring director as well. And we learn that she is an absolute psycho on set. Like she's like berating this little girl. That was a crazy scene. Like, do you guys remember that? Like the little girl like was trying. It was her father's thing, right? Was that, or was it a different?
He was filming something else, and I think the girl was supposed to be crying in the scene.
Yeah, and they were like, just use eye drops. And she was like, no, I'm going to get real emotion out of her. And then the mom is like, we quit. Like, you're crazy. Like, oh, that was so funny. Like, there are hints of like her dad, who is obviously, a little, he's got the little craziness in him to be a director. And I like that. Like, she really takes after him. I thought that was cute.
There's a part where he's filming that like drama or whatever with the guy crying, and the actor's like, well, what should I say? Like, should I dive into this? And he's like, it doesn't matter. We're going to have audio playing over the top of this anyways. So he just like, he really is what he described before. Like he's cheap, quick, and average. He's going to make it work regardless of the effort he's getting from other people.
Also a description of my sexual technique. Cheap,
you want to explain more about that?
Just, I'm cheap, I'm quick, and it's just okay.
You sound like a prostitute.
Well, no one's paying right now, but I'll take what I can
Not
get.
yet. Not until we make it a Patreon tier.
Speaking of, no.
The other part that's like the payoff is all these improv moments in the film as stuff is going wrong, and like you just see someone behind the camera just like going, vamp. And so all these weird little moments so that you saw in the opening movie, where the makeup lady is like, I'm learning self-defense, and does these self-defense moves on the guy, and they're all just like, it's this weird pacing moment where like, what's the point of this? Like, is this, again, I'm asking myself, like, is this a Japanese thing? Is this like pacing and this weird, awkward, like cheering for each other?
That was actually one of my favorite parts in the opening scene, because they're like fighting these zombies and then they need to take a break. And so they're like, just improv. And he goes, so do you have any hobbies? And then they just start talking about hobbies for a little bit.
Yeah. And then there's like a scene where they're talking about when this scene is happening, they have to keep going. Like they have another marker to keep going. And the makeup artist, which is like the wife and the woman actress, they just like stare at each other for like a good 30 seconds. And I was just like, wait, like, is someone going to kill someone? Like, what are we doing here? Like, is the makeup lady crazy? Like, and it's just, the payoff is so good. Like it is like, it's unbelievable how great the third act of this movie is. Like it is a masterclass in setup and payoff. Like this whole movie.
I was smiling ear to ear through most of it, and I was chuckling. It was like so many of these moments were just paid off so well, and stuff that you didn't notice, and it just explains what it takes to make a bad movie. You know, like that's the thing. Is I read the. Have you ever read like or seen a documentary of behind the scenes stuff for like failed movies?
No. I watched one for, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Jodorowsky's Dune. Have you seen that? I don't know if that's
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so he made like the Holy Mountain or something, and I haven't seen it, but it's on my list. Like I really want to watch that. And he made a lot of crazy good movies, and they wanted him to make Dune, and he just was like, I want over $1 million in like 1970 for a move for like this crazy shit, and they were like, no. They were like, you can't make this, but it probably was gonna be good. But
there's the one with Werner Herzog. There's a couple of like Werner Herzog behind the scenes things when he's working with Klaus Kinski. Klaus Kinski is literally just an insane person. And so like reading or seeing behind the scenes stuff with that is crazy. And I read this book. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was the behind the scenes story of the Brian De Palma film, something of the Vanities. And that, like, if you're interested in filmmaking, find this movie that I'm not giving you find this book that I'm not giving you the title of and read it, because it's very good. And it's just all about of like known actors. So like in this movie, Bonfire of the Vanities is the movie that it's about, but it was going to be this huge movie. It's based on a Pinchot novel, I think. He was super popular. Is that right? No, it's some other author. Anyways,
did you read this book?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not remembering
There's
the
this
details.
book, okay? It's about a movie that I don't remember what it was called.
Okay,
and who wrote the book?
Bonfire
Someone wrote
of the
the book,
Vanities,
but anyways.
and they're going to make a movie out of it, directed by Brian De Palma, and it was expected to be a huge movie in the 80s. And in the cast was
Tom
Hanks.
Wolfe wrote that book.
Tom Wolfe wrote the book. Okay, so Tom Hanks was the lead. Bruce Willis was in it. A bunch of just recognizable actors, huge names at the time. And it tells like the behind the scenes stories of the production from the conception to the reception. And it's known as like this huge bomb, but it's interesting along the way. You just see that no one really can predict that it's going to be a bomb, but they have all these problems along the way and like all these infighting and these personalities. You learn that Bruce Willis is a huge dick and like has this giant ego. And Tom Hanks seems like a real cool guy. And you know, it's just really interesting. This movie reminded me of that reading experience, because there's cool stories that happen behind the scenes in movies. That's why I like mourn the loss of physical media, because DVDs and Blu-rays were just an excuse to have behind the scenes stuff and like special features about
like
filmmaking.
Shrek 2, when you get to have that bonus content where you go on American Idol and you are like one of the judges for American Idol watching the cast of Shrek 2 sing songs.
That was the fucking best.
That's a core memory for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the lore behind the zombies, in your review, you said that like it just randomly happens that zombies come out, but I think they do try to explain some lore, which is really flimsy and contributes to the fact that I did not like the opening movie. Was they were like, oh, this used to be a facility for experimentation on humans, bringing them back to the dead. And then there's a part where the director says, hey, could you take all the blood up to the roof? And they're like, oh, okay. And so the guys offset, go take the blood up. And at the end, you see there's like a pentagram drawn on the roof in blood. And so there's supposed to be this like...
There's like a spell that you can
The
do,
director did a spell to bring back the dead to attack his actors.
just so he could get a good, honest performance out of them. Which you got to do what you got to do, man. You made this fantastic movie, but I guess like the director in the zombie movie, who is directing the zombie movie, but in the zombie movie, he did get a good movie out of it, and he did get a good performance out of it. Right. But for a movie directed by the director in the movie, it's not that good.
Yeah. The more words you use to describe the director, the least I'm understanding you.
No, but like it's hard to explain.
I was reading the Wikipedia of the movie, and it was so confusing that I'm not even sure it's right. Let me try to find this phrase.
Well, because you have to say
the first
it like
section
20
of the
different
film,
times.
the cast and crew, was a low budget film called True Fear. And then
it was
the second section of the film is a flashback involving the personal lives of the fictional cast and crew of a production called One Cut of the Dead, a film within the film of the same film, thus making True Fear a film within another film within the film.
Wait,
make that
I think they added a few more within the films.
I was like, wait a minute, how many?
No, but the first movie isn't called True Fear. It's called One Cut of the Dead, isn't it? It's not? It's called True Fear? I didn't remember that, if that's true.
No, the in-movie universe, they're shooting a movie called True Fear.
Oh, but on TV, premiering in this movie is called One Cut of the Dead.
Yes, correct.
And the movie in real life is called One Cut of the In real life, in our life, is called One Cut of the Dead.
So 2 layers deep, the title is One Cut of the Dead. True Fear is the third layer deep.
Is the movie that they're making about the fake zombies.
The fake movie within the fake movie.
Yes.
So the fake movie. Okay. So the fake movie within the fake movie within the movie is True Fear.
So if you take a movie, let's imagine the movie's in my hand.
Is One Cut of the Dead.
If you take a movie and then you put a movie inside, if you were to open up this movie that I put inside, there's True Fear. Okay?
That's funny. For our listeners, he had AirPods that he opened, and then the AirPod was the movie.
Right.
The movie this reminds me of, as far as like directing and torturing your actors, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because I think of the scene where they are at the dinner table, and in real life, it's like 110 degrees in there, and they're all in makeup that took them 10 hours to get on, and they're shooting the same scene over and over and over. It worked. That's one of the best scenes in the whole movie, and it's super memorable. So I think there's something to, unfortunately, torturing actors.
Yeah.
And like Blair Witch. Blair Witch is terrifying because they were actually terrified making it. Like seeing people who are really in fear for their lives. It's like, oh yeah, well, this is going to make a great movie. Or it's like people who are exhausted sitting at a table for 50 takes in a row. Like, yeah, you're going to get really good performances out of them because they're going into heat stroke psychosis. Like, and that's great. And that's great, but it's also really bad. And I'm glad that we're protecting actors more, but
that's why I like to watch Survivor, because amidst the drama and the people just trying to make it to the next episode, you have other people who are just passing out from heat stroke and getting bit by snakes. So there's enjoyment in that somewhere, and I won't say exactly where.
I love the moment where the cameraman goes down and he hurts his back, and then the young camera woman that's been like his protege and trying to get all of her ideas in the film, like picks it up and just starts doing the zooms that she's been wanting to do.
She saved the movie though.
And
Yeah.
the people who were watching it live, like the production company, the
Yeah.
backers, they were like, "Wow, that was so interesting and dynamic of those zooms." And I she was very vindicated in that moment. I really enjoyed that.
I do like when she's like, what if when you're pointing the camera at the zombie, you do like a zoom in and a zoom out and a zoom in and a zoom out. Like, wouldn't that be cool? And the guy's just like, no, that would not be cool. That would be really dumb, actually.
But it worked.
Yeah.
It honestly worked. It looked fine. Like, it looked good.
I love how chill the production was. They're just like, they were just going with it,
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like, I guess we just don't have an ending, but time's up. And like the woman is like, this is fun, not really noticing what chaos is actually going on.
I want to, how I was talking about the continuity errors, like before, like while you're watching the first act. I remembered the other two. One of them was the first guy that gets turned into a zombie, the guy with the glasses, the nerdy guy or whatever. It's very visible that he has his arm inside of his shirt at one point. And I was like, no, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do this in a real movie. Like, we wouldn't be able to see the arm. There has to be something else going on here. And then the explanation for when the makeup artist, or who we find out is the wife and the mom, like stands up after she's been killed. I was like, wait, I literally went, wait, did I just see that? I rewound it. I was like, wait, did I just see that? Like, did that really, I was like, something's going wrong. But once we find out that was the best part.
Yeah. Because I don't even think they like, in the fake movie, they deal with her and she doesn't chop the lady. Oh no, wait, the guy does tackle her and takes care of her. But yeah, it's like
her husband makes her pass out.
He chokes her out.
Yeah, someone chokes her out.
It's her husband.
It's the director. Okay. So yeah, she gets choked out and she's just like passed out. And then in the middle of of the take, she just stands up in the middle of the, of the frame. So,
good.
That's great. Mine that took me out of it was like the random axe. Cause I was like, what? I guess I didn't notice her picking it up. I'm like, well, wait a minute. The axe isn't the axe in the woman's
I didn't
head?
notice her picking it up either. When they went back to that, I was like, okay, they must be like explaining this because like we definitely didn't see her pick this up earlier. Like I did not remember that. And there was only one axe. I remember there only being one axe.
Yeah.
One workable axe, they said.
Right. So
as far as the fake arm with the blood goes, I think I'm kind of like a baby without object permanence when it comes to those types of things. Like every time in a movie where there's like an armless guy, I'm like, where did it go? Where did it go? I can't figure it out. And it looks real to me, so I don't know.
You didn't catch that? You didn't see it in his shirt? He literally was
I knew in my brain that he didn't lose his arm for the movie, but it looked real to me.
Well, I'm glad that one didn't get you because it totally got me.
I mean, for a low budget movie that it was portraying, it was like, no, that's what that looks like. Like you don't have super high tech,
we can't tie his arm behind his back and like break his fucking shoulder.
Yeah, the guy's just gonna have his hand in a shirt and he's gonna have a fake prosthetic. Like looks fine. Anyways, it was a really fun movie. I see why it's on all the lists. It's a great homage to filmmaking in general. I recommend it for everyone.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad we were able to do it.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't think I mentioned this one was voted on by the patrons. Kind of.
Thank you, patrons.
Well, yeah, there was a 4-way tie, and then we,
don't give away our secrets.
Well, there was.
I mean, we break the ties.
But if they're patrons, they saw that the vote ended and there was a tie. Like we obviously had to. We whatever. I didn't say that. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Okay, let's move on to horror movie whores.
Who?
Was
Okay, horror movie whores is where we check our voicemails. And
Yes, it
we
is.
just did this last week, but we have several people calling again. So here we go.
That's good.
Hey, you guys. This is Rylan from a little small town in Georgia. I've been debating calling for a while now. Just, I don't usually do this kind of thing, but I just thought I would. I'm working and, listen to the podcast like normal. I actually feel like a celebrity sometimes. I follow Sydney on Letterboxd, and, every once in a while she'll like one of my reviews. But not show. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to it. But I got a like on Letterboxd, and I kind of feel like a celebrity because I genuinely love you guys so much. And I just thought I'd call and say, I started watching. I want to say maybe 2022, a year after, couple years after COVID. And I've been hooked ever since. I found it kind of hard to find a horror movie pod that I really could get into. That all just kind of, I don't really know. They weren't really for me. And I want to say I looked up on TikTok horror movie pods or something like that to that extent. And I came past a video with Dice, and as I said, I've just been hooked. So I want to tell you all, how thankful I am to you guys, and keep up the good work. I'm a big horror movie guy. My favorite horror movie was Soul. I know you guys reviewed it a while. That was actually, I showed a couple of my friends the pod, and that was the first episode that I showed them. So I started getting on here and tell y'all to keep up the good work. And I look forward to hearing another episode soon. See ya.
Oh, that was so nice.
Aw,
That was nice.
that was a nice one.
What was his name again?
Rylan?
Rylan?
It's either
Yeah,
Rylan or
if
Ryan.
you're out there and you're thinking like,
Hey, you guys.
wanna
This
call
is,
in, but you're-
Rylan from
Yeah, Rylan.
Rylan. Yeah, if you're thinking you want to call in, but you're, a little nervous or a little shy, like it can't hurt. We're just having fun here. So
I'm so
Please call
curious what video it was on TikTok, because I haven't made a lot of videos on TikTok.
All I'm hearing is that you need to post on TikTok more.
I guess I think the most effort I put into TikTok was the top 100 horror movies of all time.
dude, you're still trolling people with those videos to this day.
I know.
We'll get a comment. This is years later. We'll get a comment that's like, actually, it's not this and it's this. And like, yeah, that's the point of the video, buddy. You got. Sorry.
Our highest, like, I still get a ton of follows and likes for the Slender Man one.
Mhm.
I think it was like, let me see where. I'll probably get some more.
There's one where you're like talking about gremlins, but you keep calling them ghoulies, and like people just are so mad about that one.
I remember that one. That's so funny. I love that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to finish that series, but it's almost better to leave it because that is the ultimate troll, is that it only goes to like 76 or something out of 100. Yeah. Well, Rylan, comment or call in again. I'm curious what video you saw.
Yeah, that's so nice too. I just found him on Letterboxd. I do follow him. He watches horror movies like every day. It's crazy. It's awesome. Love you, man.
All right, next caller.
Hi, I am from Michigan. My name is Luck.
It's a lady.
I don't need this posted in other episodes. I'm just standing here on Devil's Night making some pumpkin seeds and listening to your Shelby Oaks episode, and I can't tell you how fucking great it is to hear that somebody else hates that movie as much as I do. I have no idea who Chris Stuckman is until I saw it, and the fact that he reviews horror movies and still made the biggest piece of shit I've ever watched and spent money on is just incredible to me. I feel like after I went and saw it in theaters, I looked on Twitter and I looked on Facebook to see what people were saying. And so many people were saying, oh my God, this is the movie of the year. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. And I felt like I was the only person that was just entirely baffled by the fact that that movie even made it in theaters. Biggest piece of shit. I'm about 16 minutes into your episode. And I just want to say thank you for making me feel very validated. Okay, goodbye.
You know, that's so funny because I saw a tweet yesterday that said that Shelby Oaks movie is such horrendous dog shit. People are tiptoeing around saying it's like a Make-A-Wish kid made it and not a YouTuber. And I agree. He's a grown man. He can take criticism. He made something. He can take criticism. People glazing him makes no sense to me. Like,
it's weird. Like on YouTube, I mean, he's the biggest YouTube movie guy.
I've never heard of him, Bryce.
I mean, he is the biggest. It's a meme. It's him and John Johns or whatever his name is, some Michael Johns or something.
Who the hell is that?
Like if you just search on here, let's just do a quick experiment.
Oh, I don't know. We're gonna get Stuckmanized.
You know, I don't.
Search movie.
But I'm not
reviews.
looking up like horror movie reviews because we do that. So
yeah, this guy, Jeremy Johns. That's who Jeremy Johns.
Oh, I've heard
Stuckman.
of Jeremy Johns, but not Chris Stuckman.
Yeah, Chris Stuckman is. Yeah, I mean it's those two that will constantly show up. Anyways, it's funny watching the Shelby Oaks reviews on YouTube because it literally is Chris Stuckman's friends and associates on YouTube that are kind of tiptoeing around like, yeah, I mean, we're very proud of our boy. You know, he's a good boy. And then they kind of say, if I were to have a criticism, it would be this and this. And even the reaction to our Shelby Oaks episode, some people are just fans of Chris Stuckman from back in the day. Like they started watching when they were kids and got an appreciation of film from watching his stuff, and they're just happy for him. And I'm fine with that. I imagine if like the Red Letter Media guys got a major film with a theatrical release, I would be very apologetic about it. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, no, it's not as good as, multi-billion-dollar movie, but it's, I'm just happy that they're get to execute their vision. Like, I get it, but also
it's also like if you have a friend and they make a short film and you watch it, you're probably going to be like, this is really cool. This is like, how did they do this? I'm so impressed. But if you were to see that same short film just randomly on YouTube, it won't hit as hard, and you'll see the things that pop out to you that aren't as good. So I get it. But at the same time, I didn't know anything about Mr. Stuckmanized before we watched it. So I had nothing pressuring me to like the movie other than that I just wanted to like it and I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, next caller.
Hey, HFT, it's Ben from Richmond, Virginia. I just finished listening to the Shelby Oaks episode. Yeah, all three of you pulled down your pants and took a fat shit on Chris Stuckman's chest. Holy crap. You guys really didn't weren't too fun. I'm really curious if he wasn't like, didn't have a YouTube channel, and if he wasn't like homegrown. He was just like a regular director, and you guys were just reviewing it. I wonder if you had a different. But I've been listening to Chris Stuckman, and your review made me want to watch it after being really excited for it. And I thought it was hilarious that Bryce just called everything Shelby Oaks. And I feel kind of bad for the guy. I mean, he's gonna be fine, but like, fine. I think a lot of reviewers on YouTube and other platforms are just like holding back because they want to support him, but they should be honest with him because what's the point? Anyways, happy Halloween to you guys, and keep up the good work. and back to you, dude.
Happy Halloweeny. We literally just talked about this. This is funny that the next
We
call
should-
was about it.
We should make a video where we're all wearing the Stuckman merch and we're like, hey guys, so we rewatched the
Redacted.
we rewatched the movie and actually it's not that bad. It's actually really good.
Wait, that'd be a good bit. We'll just make a YouTube apology video.
Yeah. Again, like I get it. People are fans of Chris Stuckman, but
The movie stunk.
yeah, I mean, if I did not know, yeah, I will admit, like a decent level of hate layered into that review was because it was Chris Stuckman. Like,
See, I
but
just thought the movie was dog shit.
yeah, if I were to review it as on its own merits, it would be a supremely mid movie with a lot of bizarre problems in it that I pointed out in the review. Like, it would still be enjoyable to shit on.
Mhm.
Like, there's just an added level of Schadenfreude that is added because he's got 2 million subscribers on YouTube, you know?
Oh, la di da. We have 4,000. Whatever.
I guess Jeremy
Whatever.
Johns is slightly larger than him. He's got 2.06 million and Chris Stuckman has 2.04.
Oh, wow.
So-
Listen, if we were to ever make a major motion picture that got into the theaters, I would expect our next video to be reviewing it, talking about how much we hate it, because that would be a really funny video.
You know, honestly, you would have way more reason to hate it if you made it.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, you know, if I listen to a performance of mine when I'm singing, like I hate it. It's terrible. This is the worst, you know, version of this that I've ever heard.
That's like
It's
when
just-
I used to have a band and play live shows, and then I would watch the recording back that my wife took, and I'd be like, "Wait, this is the part you want to post?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's the best part." I'm like, "This is ass. It's so bad."
It's the best part.
Okay, I think we got one more voicemail.
I hope it's about Shelby Oaks.
Hi, agency. This is Tom from Texas. I just wanted to call about Mr. Ham. We really need to get him off the show, especially with the recent allegations. Anyway, also to the haters into the dark, I want to say, Cindy, thank you for bringing more niche horror into the community, because nobody else does reviews of it, and it's really interesting to me. Those are my favorite episodes y'all have ever done. That's all for me. I guess I'd like to know too, and this has been asked a million times, but what is you guys' favorite episode you've ever done? My personal favorite is the Sadness. Bryce and David go into some really crazy stuff there. That's an old one. But yeah, anyway, I love what you guys have done recently. Yeah, great job, everyone. Bye.
Dude,
Nice.
Vindicated.
such an unfortunate answer for this, but like, I loved filming the Lake Mungo episode. I had so much fun. The entire time I was like, this is so fun. I love hanging out with my friends and talking about movies, and obviously, like, to us, like, whenever something was said that was like edgy, we know we're joking and probably pushing the envelope a little too far. And then that episode went out and just got shit on to oblivion. So that was one of my favorite episodes to make, for sure.
Shut the fuck up.
That was a pretty good one. I think my favorite episodes. I mean, the one that is easy to point out to is the Bats Rats 1-2 punch. That was so enjoyable.
You know, I never even listened to those.
Because the lead up to that and like the overtaking of our social media to try to get us to watch Rats Night of Terror was so thorough. and then just to fuck with the audience and put out bats instead was great.
It's great.
But there's I can't think of all of them. It all jumbles together.
My favorite
Chris
episode
Stuckman was the most recent one. I like Shelby Oaks. That was the most recent, really fun one.
That was fun. I think my favorite episodes to record are the ones that we either all really like or all really have or all really hate. Like when we're divided, it's a little like hard to have the conversation sometimes, like just with like, oh, I like this, no, I don't like this, and whatever. But like when we did Nosferatu, I remember being like, that was a good episode. But I also love the episodes that I don't have to edit. So
yeah, that's
those
true.
are the best.
That's a good point.
Another one that I enjoyed making but no one liked was the Strangers Chapter 1, because that was, I think, me and Sydney's first go at it alone, and it was such a disaster. But I remember having fun. I don't know.
Was Alien before that though? Because Alien was worse.
Dude, that one was
I think
bad.
it was after.
That was, I think, the worst. That's my most embarrassing. Like in my soul, I'm like, wow, that's out there. That's out there. And
the funny thing is, it wasn't even like bad quality episode. It was that we didn't know anything about the alien lore, and so we sounded stupid for like an hour and a half.
And I want to announce, if anyone is still listening to the podcast and listened to that episode and was like, oh, we got all this stuff wrong, I have since watched Prometheus and the other one. What's the other one? Bryce, you know that.
I don't know. I didn't like Prometheus and Covenant.
Covenant and Prometheus. I watched those two, so I know the back lore, the past lore about it, and how all this shit happens, and the jockeys and the makers and all that shit. So I could have an honest conversation about it now, and I would get it right. Just saying. Just saying.
I love that he was lauding praises on your choice of Into the Dark, even though it's actually titled In the Dark. I'm so glad you guys covered Into the Dark. He didn't get the title right. He doesn't care.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
He's just trying to glaze you.
Good.
It's In the Dark because she is in the dark. She doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't go into the dark. Yeah. Well, I guess she kind of does go into the dark.
I thought it was called In the Dark because it was so hard to see anything.
I was going to say that.
Could be into the fuzz. All right, that's it for voicemails. Thanks for calling in. Thanks everybody for joining us on this show. All filmed in one take. No cuts. Actually, we'll make one cut when Max had to go take a piss.
I had to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry.
But other than that, no cuts. Or should I just leave it in? Maybe that should be the gag.
Was it just dead air the whole time?
Dead air.
That would be
me complaining about something I don't remember. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good day, sir.
Wow, 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 wow.
Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
Is that raincoat?
I've been a bad boy.
He had no face.
Horror.
All I see is Mr. Ham.
Cancel Mr. Ham.
Yeah, where's Mr. Ham? Because you're a pig.
Free my boy, Mr. Ham. He ain't done nothing wrong.
Wow, that didn't sound good.